And welcome everyone to the Afia Sports Preview Show. It's a wonderful weekend that's beginning today in earnest. Happy weekend TGIF and welcome to the Afia Sports Preview Show actually. And this is all about, this is who we are, this is what we bring to the show, Afia Sports. And I am CC Emechebe, also known as CC the Rabbi. And I'm not doing this alone, of course. I have my co-host here, Emeka Madoka, the priest of football. Emeka, it's great to be here once again.
Good to be here.
Can't you expand your priesthood?
Yeah, my priesthood is slowly moving from football to other sports, maybe NBA and tennis.
Okay, maybe the Ororo needs to be upgraded now for that to happen. But all the same, it's great to be here, guys. We are doing this. The frequencies are still the same. They've not changed. I'm not planning to change anytime soon. Channel 254 DSTV, Channel 17 Go TV, and Channel 748 Free TV. We are here to talk about sports and all that's in between. We're going to start with the headlines, of course. We have key headlines today, beginning with the Npfl. Charity always begins at home. The Nigerian Premier Football League kicks off this weekend, of course. We are focusing mainly on some games, but the main game we're looking at has to be the second Oriental Derby for the Flying Antelopes. That is Rangers International of Enugu locking horns with Abia Warriors. Abia Warriors are the side that are going to be playing, or are visiting the cathedral to face the Rangers International. That's what's going to happen this weekend. So Rangers have a big opportunity to go higher on the table after 5 match weeks. Then the second news we have right now has to do with the WAFU B U17 tournament that's kicking off very, very soon. It's kicking off by next week. The 5-time champions, the Golden Eaglets of Nigeria, they have already arrived Yamoussoukro. They went to Abidjan, which is Abidjan, the former capital of Côte d'Ivoire, a couple of days ago, and from there they moved on to Yamoussoukro, getting themselves ready for the tournament that's kicking off. Of course, it's going to begin next week. They're going to face Benin Republic in that group, amongst other sides. So we're looking forward to seeing what the next generation of Super Eagles players will do in the coming tournament. Then, of course, the last bit of news, it has to do with the FIFA World Cup qualifiers. And in the FIFA World Cup qualifiers, we have Zimbabwe, who are in Group C in the CAF zone. They have decided that they are not going to play their home games in South Africa. They will play their home games in Southern Africa, but not South Africa. Southern Africa as in the region in Africa, not South Africa, the country. And where exactly are they going to play their home fixture against the Bafana of South Africa? It's going to be in Botswana. Now, this could impact the result of the game, which means that the Zimbabwean players will have a good number of fans that will come in there. South Africa will have their own fans too, but at least there'll be a bit more disparity in terms of who is supporting who in that area. Now we start the show properly with a tribute to a legend of the game. We are Nigerians. We love the Nigerian game. We love Nigerian sports generally. And football is one of our pastimes, our favorite pastimes. And it's always very rare. Well, nowadays, things have changed. We see the female football, female sports, growing up and having a lot of traction everywhere. And we're glad to see what the female athletes have done in the past a few months. We saw what the Super Falcons of Nigeria did, winning their 10th WAFCON, Women's African Cup of Nations title. And of course, we saw what the Tigresses did, where they won their 5th Afro basket title. But talking about WAFCON, we have to honor and celebrate an Amazon in her own right, somebody who was a legend of the game, referring to none other than the centre-back, legendary football player, centre-back for Super Falcons of Nigeria, Onome Ebi. The 42-year-old has officially retired after a glittering 22-year career with the Super Falcons of Nigeria. She started, of course, from Nigeria. One of her first teams was Bayelsa Queens, and then she ended up in Abia too. You check it there, somebody who played 109 times, had 109 caps for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. She scored only 4 goals. Well, I mean, defenders don't score many goals normally.
Yes.
Please, let's not call some other defenders that love scoring goals. But the point is that defenders are there to defend, so you can understand that. But this lady that we're talking about, that we're celebrating, is the only person, the first person, male or female, to participate in 6 different World Cup campaigns. World Cup tournaments, yes, generally for any country at all. The first player ever to participate in 6 different World Cups. I beg your pardon, the first African player to participate in 6 different World Cups, male or female. And then she's a 4-time winner of the Women's African Cup of Nations. And, she just had a very, very trophy and medal littered career.
She's had a really golden slate.
When I heard about her retirement, I said, I had mixed feelings. I said, okay, Onome Ebi, well, it's about time. You've really done so much. How many 42-year-old females do you see that are still rearing on and trying to play beyond their time? Not everybody's going to be a Cristiano Ronaldo or a Roger Miller. But the truth of the matter is, Onome Ebi has earned the right to hang up her boots at this stage. What's your take about her career?
Well, I mean, you've said it all. She's deserved the right to hang her boots. She's done exceptionally well for the Super Falcons. I mean, she's won 4 WAFCONs for them. She's the first player, like you said, male or female, to represent an African country in the World Cup. I mean, credit's due to her. She's a good defender, was a great defender for the Super Eagles. She had so many caps, had so many appearances for both club and country. And I think now it's time. She's seen that the body can't give it again. She can't go at the highest stage. She can't keep on giving full performances. It's time to hang up the boots, and her career has been really glittered with gold. So big ups to her. Congrats on the retirement there.
Yeah, I mean, this was something I was looking at then when she was more or less, should I say, giving vibes and signals to, first of all, to Randy Waldrum before Justin Madugu, the coach that just won Randy Waldrum's former assistant, more or less trying to indicate that she's ready. There was a bit of a clash between her and that management, but she was hopeful that she would have one more shot at the title. Who knows? We would have been talking about her winning a 5th WAFCON title, because the last one that she didn't participate in, Nigeria won finally after 7 good years. But, Onome Ebi, you could see that anytime you're talking about the success of the Super Falcons of Nigeria over the past few years in WAFCON, you could see that centre-back partnership that she formed with Osinachi Ohale was magnificent. And I had my fears about her absence, because I didn't really see anybody stepping up to the plate until I saw Tosin Deme. He came on, and I think they've already forged a new partnership. The Super Falcons are in safe hands. I don't know what you think.
Well, I mean,
concerning this.
Normally in football, you see whether it be the male or the female team. When you have such an exceptional footballer as the defender in your ranks, and you see the quality they give, you see the class that they have. Normally to replace that is difficult, most especially when it comes to the national team. But I think Nigeria have been able to find a balance and find a good pairing, because I mean, given the WAFCON performances in this last one, we saw how solid the girls were, we saw how focused that defense was, we saw how tight it was. They weren't chipping in a lot of goals. So big ups to the national team for fixing that. And she's been such a closeout in the defense there. She's a giant in her own ranks. Nobody can really fill out her shoes as much as she was able to do over the years. I mean, we only pray for someone who can come close to that and maybe give us better eventually in the coming years. But she's a legend in her own right. She's a solid defender in any book.
I think it's safe to say that Onome Ebi will be greatly missed. We have actually loved watching her develop in front of us. When I say us, I'm talking about my generation. We watched her develop and become the
newcomers managed to love the few years that were remaining in her career.
You were very fortunate to see a titan in the game. But she was and is a great person, a great footballer. She'll be greatly missed. The football game, especially the Super Falcons, will miss her contribution to the pitch and also to the African game.
Definitely.
She was indeed a great one. Remember, like we said earlier, she is the first African player, male or female, to go to the World Cup 6 times, to feature in the World Cup 6 times. And that brings us to the next point here about the World Cup, FIFA World Cup. Next year, the FIFA World Cup is going to be hosted by 3 different countries: the United States of America, Canada, and Mexico. That's what the Mexicans call it, Mexico. So that's what's going to happen there in the FIFA World Cup. The big question right now is this: will Nigeria be going? Well, that's a very, very tight one, considering what's happening in the CAF zone, Group C of CAF zone in the FIFA World Cup qualifiers. But the recent development has it right now that the Bafana of South Africa are being investigated now. FIFA have officially opened disciplinary proceedings against SAFA, that is South African Football Association, and the player who has caused this problem for them, Teboho Mokoena, the mercurial midfield maestro of Bafana Bafana. Now, the reason for these disciplinary proceedings that have been opened, is that Teboho Mokoena was fielded against Lesotho. I think that was in match day 5, if my memory serves me right.
Yes,
match day 5. He was fielded against Lesotho, but he had already accrued 2 yellow cards prior to that. And according to the rules of the game by FIFA, you do not, when you have 2 yellow cards from previous games, whether consecutively or non-consecutively, then you forfeit the next game. You are ineligible to be part of the next game. And he had already picked up 2 yellow cards, so he was ineligible to feature for Bafana Bafana against Lesotho. However, for reasons best known to them, he was fielded in that game, and Bafana Bafana of South Africa won Lesotho 2-0. So the complaints have been lodged, and now FIFA have decided to act. And I think the sooner they act fast in terms of going ahead and then dealing with South Africa, the better. Because the penalty for what South Africa did, whether wittingly or unwittingly, is a forfeit of the game. They are meant to forfeit the game and lose that game by 3-0. So it will be recorded in a 3-0 deficit in their own column. They've lost the game, the points will be awarded to Lesotho, and their points will be deducted by 3 points. That means the implication on the table is that Benin Republic, who are currently second with 14 points, will leapfrog Bafana Bafana of South Africa because of the superior goal difference, because they will then be tied on 14 points. And there's a bit of hope, mild hope, but even though hope is not a business strategy, a bit of hope that Nigeria, the Super Eagles of Nigeria, should they win their next 2 games convincingly, may have an outside chance of qualifying for the World Cup directly from there. So this has many ramified implications. The fact that FIFA have decided to do this, first of all, I would assume, I want to get your thoughts, but first I would assume that FIFA are trying to save face, because let's not forget, South Africa is the country of origin of the CAF president.
Yes.
That is Dr. Patrice Motsepe. And they want to avoid a situation where it's as though Gianni Infantino is doing his body a favor. So I think everybody, all eyes are going to be focused on this to make sure that the punishments that South Africa deserve are meted out to them as and when due.
I mean, you've said it very, very well. It means you fielded a player that shouldn't have been fielded. That's a penalty on any book. It's the law. You can't field a player who is supposed to be eligible for that game. Mokoena was not eligible for the game, but yeah, he played the game. A complaint has been filed by Lesotho and by Benin. Now, it's now on CAF to take up the matter. They refuse to take up the matter seriously as on when due. FIFA has entered into the ranks now and said, okay, we're going to take it upon ourselves now to make sure that each punishment that should be meted out to the South African Federation, SAFA, is going to be meted out on them. I mean, the 3-point deduction and the 3 goals deduction as well, like you said. That means the 3 points are now awarded to Lesotho and the 3 goals are awarded as well to Lesotho, which takes them higher up the table, which takes South Africa down to second, as you said, which leaves the group wide open, because if that is done as soon as possible, we see Benin in first place, leading the ranks to finish first. South Africa still have hope to finish first if they do the job convincingly in their last 2 games. But Nigeria as well have a shout there. Win your last 2 games, you get yourself in first place. Now it's now of when and how fast FIFA can work on how to get those 3 points deducted. Will they do it before the international break resumes? Will they do it after the qualifiers? That's another thing they need to check. Because I think what Benin and the bereaved Lesotho are clamoring for is that it should be done before the resumption of the international break. Because that will now leave everybody open to their options, knowing where they will fall.
Knowing their fates and knowing exactly what they need to do.
Which I believe FIFA should look at it that way and make it possible that these points and these 3 goals are deducted before we resume international duty. So every country who is up for grabs for the first place has their options. They do their job and they know that, okay, they have the opportunity of finishing first. South Africa can still finish first if they do their job. So it's very open now for those 3 countries. whichever one can grab the first place.
Yeah, just for the record, at least looking at the top 3 sides in the FIFA World Cup qualifying group C in the CAF zone, you have South Africa on top with 17 points, then Benin Republic are second with 14 points, and Nigeria are third with 11 points, just behind Rwanda. Yes, Rwanda have 11 points, but Nigeria have a superior goal difference. So I think basically the yam and the knife are in the hands of South Africa right now, because we've put ourselves in this kind of position. When I say we, I'm referring to Nigeria. We put ourselves in this position where season in, season out, we're relying on vibes and inshallah to try and get something out of this. And it's not proper.
The story. I mean, we
permutations.
We have about 200 mathematicians in the country. Everyone is always punching in their calculators. Okay, if we win this game, this person loses this game.
By this margin. Yeah. You forgot to add that.
By this margin, okay, we win like a 3-0, they lose by a 2-0, we win 4-0, everybody's always putting their calculators, okay, by the grace of God, hope and inshallah, that's what's always doing here. But I mean, the Super Eagles have found themselves in this situation. It's now to do your own job and hope for the best, because after you do your job, it's not out of your hands. You have to pray, and pray hard that it favors you. Because if it doesn't favor you, that means you're missing out on the World Cup. If you can't finish at second place for the playoffs, and there's still no guarantees that the playoffs will still favor you.
Okay, well, that's a slippery slope that Nigeria is trying to avoid. But, if you make a bet, you have to lie in it that way. Let's just keep our fingers crossed and hope for the best, even while we anticipate the worst. Nigeria, it's out of your hands. Just do your own job. Do your best and try to get the maximum points against Lesotho away from home in match week 9. And then, of course, against Benin Republic at home in the final match day, and then just hope that all things will fall into place. We're going to go on a very short break, and we'll return. We will go outside of the African continent and see the happenings and occurrences that are there for us in Europe, particularly because the English Premier League is back and other leagues are back. Stick around, don't touch that. This is still the Afia Sports Preview Show on Afia TV. We'll be right back in a jiffy. You're welcome back to the Afia Sports Preview Show on Afia TV. The frequencies are still the same. Channel 254 DSTV, Channel 17 Go TV, and Channel 748 Free TV. I'm still your man, CC Emezebe, aka CC the Rabbi, and I'm still here with the co-host, before you go and overthrow me. You cannot do it. You can't overthrow me. Nemeka Madoka, the Prince of Football.
Once or twice a month.
Okay, fine. I think I'll accept that. So we're back talking about what's been happening. Now I'm moving straight to Europe, and I'm taking it over to you. Hand over to you. What's happening in the EPL? Take it away.
All right. This weekend we're kicking off with a Merseyside derby, Liverpool versus Everton, and I mean that's one of the standout fixtures for today. But moving on to other fixture, we have Wolves versus Leeds, we have Burnley versus Nottingham Forest, we have Fulham versus Brentford, we have Bournemouth taking on Newcastle, we have Brighton hosting Spurs, we have West Ham hosting Crystal Palace. The big game on Saturday in the evening, Manchester United versus Chelsea, Sunderland hosts Aston Villa, and the last key fixture, which is on Sunday, that Arsenal-Man City game at the Emirates.
Now, of course, those are crackers. All those games are crackers, many of them. But like George Orwell said in The Animal Farm, he said, all animals are equal, but some are more equal than others. So exactly. I think it's safe to say that all crackers are equal, but some are more equal than others. So we're going to break that down tomorrow during our show, because there's a lot as it gets closer. We normally say in this part of the world, as it hot, right? So as it's getting closer to the D-Day and the time exactly, we're going to talk about that. Tomorrow, the EPL is going to serve us with a lot of beautiful games. And I've noticed something, at least I can say this, I've noticed something that because of the 74 charges that have been leveled against Chelsea, there's this conspiracy theory that the blue cartel, quote unquote, is being targeted while the red cartel is getting away scot-free. Now, the blue cartel involves Chelsea, Manchester City and Everton. I wonder how Everton got into that picture. I don't know. Then the red cartel involves Arsenal, Liverpool, and Manchester United. So somebody once said, I took note of what someone said, that the blue cartel will be facing the red cartel. The red cartel will be hosting the blue cartel at home. You have Man City that will be hosting. Arsenal rather, that will be hosting Manchester City. Red, Liverpool hosting Everton, red, blue, and then Manchester United hosting Chelsea, red, blue. I don't know. I don't believe in conspiracy theories, but let's leave it at that. And so, red cartel, blue cartel, colorless cartel, that's your business. We are going to be up here for beautiful games of football this weekend. We'll talk more about that tomorrow during the show. But we want to look at the Spanish La Liga, because Spanish La Liga, that is touted as the second best league in Europe, in the top 5 leagues in Europe, and we're going to have some key games. Real Betis is going to be locking horns with Real Sociedad this weekend. That's going to be by 8 p.m. today, starting from today. Then tomorrow, Girona will be playing host to Levante. Then Real Madrid will be playing host to Espanyol, and Alaves is going to be playing host to Sevilla. Villarreal will be playing host to Osasuna, and then the late kickoff for Saturday is Valencia playing host to Athletic Bilbao. Then on Sunday, we're going to have games. Rayo Vallecano will be playing host to Celta Vigo. Then Mallorca is going to be playing host to Atletico Madrid. Then Elche is going to be playing host to Real Oviedo. And then the final game for Sunday by 8 p.m. will be Barcelona, FC Barcelona, playing host to Getafe. Now, these are some... There are not too many flattering games. They are cracking games. Yeah, you have some cracking teams, but not particularly cracking games. Like you look at Barcelona Getafe that ends proceedings.
Yes.
But you also have a Real Madrid that will be playing host to Espanyol. Another case of Catalonia meets Madrid, because Barca is going to be playing host to Getafe in Catalonia. Getafe, remember, is a Madrid-based club.
Yes.
Then Real Madrid will be playing host to Espanyol, the Catalonian side. So, I don't know, Catalonia and Madrid, all that Spanish Civil War rhetoric.
It's a long time.
Francisco Franco's
city rivalry, but I mean, it's sweet to see it in the Spanish La Liga. It's why we have the La Liga. It's intriguing. It's nice. These fixtures normally either produce one-side fixtures or maybe results, or sometimes you see draws, so you never know what to expect when it comes to Madrid or Catalonia rivalry match.
So we're looking forward to that, but there'll be some other games. I personally would, looking at those La Liga games, yes, like we've agreed, none of them sticks out like a sore thumb.
Yes.
It's not like we're seeing an El Clasico. It's not like we're seeing a Madrid derby. It's not like we're seeing maybe a Basque derby. We're not seeing some key derbies. A Basque derby that's between Real Sociedad and Athletic Bilbao. It's not like we're seeing an Andalusian derby between Real Betis and Sevilla or something like that. We're not seeing that. But if you look at some of the games, there may be, apart from Real Madrid playing host to Espanyol, and then Barca playing host to Getafe. I would like to keep tabs on Alaves playing host to Sevilla, because for some reason I want to see whether Alexis Sanchez still has it. Because Sanchez, of course, remember he's in Sevilla now. So I don't know if there's any standout fixture for you, even in the midst. They said that in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is a king.
There's no standout fixture, but fixtures that I would be keen to watch is the game with Atletico Madrid against Mallorca. I'll also be looking out for that Barcelona game against Getafe, the Madrid game against Espanyol. Maybe keeping tabs on the Real Sociedad game against Real Betis away from home. So those are the only games I feel like I would be keeping key tabs on. The rest are fixtures that are average in Recife, but no disrespect to the games, no disrespect to the sides. I'm very sure everyone is playing the best they can at this point. I will even have the La Liga table to even prove that as well.
Yeah. Okay. There's no easy way to say this, but let me just say it. Okay. Knowing your allegiance and your leanings. If you just take the Blaugrana tinted glasses off for a minute, and it's ironic because I'm the one wearing glasses here, not him, but you know what I mean. Now, if you take the Blaugrana tinted glasses off for a moment and assess the Spanish La Liga objectively thus far, I think it should be match week 5 stepping into, and Real Madrid are the only side that is unbeaten, or that has a perfect record in La Liga. Yes, they've won all their games so far. I agree, it is too early to judge because the league is not a sprint, but a marathon. But what is your objective outlook concerning what's happening right now? What are the major standout themes you're seeing in La Liga so far? How strong is, for instance, a Barcelona side who are the defending champions? how strong is a Real Madrid? Have they really strengthened in areas? For instance, look at the managerial change that happened. Carlo Ancelotti, who is one of the most successful and well-respected managers in world football, had to move on to manage Seleção, that's the Brazilian national side. But now you have an ambitious young manager who's a proven winner in Xabi Alonso, who stepped in there. And Ancelotti, no disrespect to him, did not have this number of points that Xabi has now at this stage last season.
Well, I mean,
what's your take? Is there any? Does Barcelona have anything to be concerned about with this Madrid side?
Oh, definitely, Barcelona has something to be concerned about, because this is not just any side in the La Liga. This is your rivals, Real Madrid, the famous or classical rivalry. And looking at over the few years now, the only team that's even given a shout of maybe trouble between these two teams is Atletico Madrid. That's the only team that has disrupted these two teams from winning the league in serially for years. So when you look at the Spanish La Liga, you have to look at what the squad depth of both teams, both Barcelona and Real Madrid. This summer, for me personally, I would say both teams haven't done enough to strengthen themselves. Barca maybe doing enough in the front, not really enough at the back. Madrid doing enough maybe in the back and not enough in the front. But no disrespect to the lineups there that they have. Kylian Mbappe has hit the ground running. He's on fire for Madrid right now, which is why Madrid is on top of the table with a perfect record. And Barcelona, just that slip off against Levante there. So, yeah.
Okay, let me ask this question finally before we go. We'll go for a short break and then return and then end up things. Some people get the impression that La Liga is a 3-horse race. Others get the impression that it's a 4-horse race. Some even look and say, what do you mean for a 3-horse race? They say that, maybe for instance, they look at Atletico Madrid as that little chihuahua that's nipping at the heels of a Doberman Pinscher and a Rottweiler that are actually fighting. Just basically irritating them. Would you agree with those who say that this is still a 2-horse race? Have Atletico Madrid shown enough seriousness, considering the fact that they won their first game of the season just this last weekend?
I mean, if you're going to go by Atletico Madrid and you want to analyze whether they are potential threats to both Madrid and Barcelona, of recent seasons, yes, they have put themselves in the conversation that they can threaten Madrid and Barcelona's position as title winners. But I mean, given this season, if we're going to base it off this season, they've not started the season very well. And yes, it's early days. It's never won at the beginning of the season. You can pick at any point. Until they fully peak and get themselves into that rhythm, I don't see Atletico being a competition for either Madrid or Barcelona. And down to it's now down to who plays their games well. And most of the time, La Liga is settled by who wins their Clásico more. So that's how it's going to plan out this season as well.
Okay, let's see how that goes. Over to you, Diego Simeone. Prove to others that you're not just a flash in the pan and that the 2 La Liga titles that you won within the space of 12, 13 years were not a fluke. But you have a lot of work to do to prove that to people. We're going to go on a short break and we will return the final lap in this show, the Afia Sports Preview Show, where we're going to talk about another legendary manager that has a new job. I mean, he's been changing jobs like no man's business. Severance packages have been going left, right, center, and now he's in a new job. You'll know who that manager is when we return from this break. Yes, yes. Here we go. Here we go for that break. Be right back after these messages. Back to the final leg of the Afia Sports Preview Show on Afia TV. The frequencies are not changing anytime soon. They still remain channel 254 DSTV, channel 17 Go TV, and channel 748 Free TV. We have the last bits of news here, and there is a manager. Everybody knows him. Of course, some of you saw that picture just before we went on the break. And this is none other than the special one, self-proclaimed special one himself.
I am
Jose Mourinho. Jose Mario dos Santos Mourinho Felix. That is the man himself, the 62-year-old Portuguese manager that has had a litany of teams that he has managed over the years to great amounts of success over the years. Jose Mourinho has now officially been unveiled as the manager of Benfica. And that was where it all began. His coaching career began. That is actual coaching career, not assistant coaching. Yes, he was an assistant coach to Sir Bobby Robson of blessed memory in Sporting Lisbon and then Barcelona. But when he began his coaching career in the year 2000, 25 years ago, he was with SL Benfica, one of the two giants of Lisbon, in Portuguese football, the two giants in Lisbon-based giants. So he has signed a 2-year contract with Benfica. This is somebody who began his career at Benfica. They went on to União de Leiria before moving on to Porto, FC Porto, and then that was when everything just became something else. He won the Champions League, moved to Chelsea, and then moved on, got to Inter Milan, and then continued winning things, and then finally he parted ways with Fenerbahce not too long ago after losing to this same Benfica. Mourinho, this guy is an institution that needs to be studied.
Works, isn't it?
So Mourinho is back where it all began, back to his native Portugal.
Yes.
And this is somebody I was looking at, and maybe it seems as though he hasn't lost his bite. He hasn't lost his force, but he's back where it all started. And funnily enough, he managed in Benfica for just about, 3 months, yes, from September to December, the year 2000. And he lost only 2 games out of about 16 games that he managed. So he had a relatively successful period until he was pulled away to União de Leiria and then set the pace before going to Porto. Mourinho, that is a character indeed. Now, in Benfica, the stranglehold on the Portuguese league. Let's talk about Portuguese league now. Let's leave the Champions League because the curse of Bela Gutmann is still hanging over Benfica. I firmly believe that. But the Portuguese league, they have a major objective in the Portuguese league, and is to wrestle that dominance from Sporting Lisbon. What do you think the Special One's influence will be like here?
When you look at the Portuguese division, you have to look at the top teams that are there giving trouble right there at the top. And you mentioned that Sporting Lisbon for the past few seasons have been the dominant side in this Portuguese division there. Benfica have been struggling to get themselves on to where they need to be. Yes, they qualified for the Champions League. Yes, they've been up there, but they've not been winning the division. And I think that's why they've opted now to go for the Special One, as he claims to be, Mourinho. After losing that game after winning that game to Fenerbahce, Benfica went on to have some shady games. Shady because they had some quite results that shouldn't have gone the way it went. They lost points from winning positions, and Bruno Lage had to just leave the club. And now it's time for Mourinho to come back to where it all began again and try and get Benfica to where they were, top of the table. So it's kind of mixed emotions there from both the manager's perspective and for the clubs as well.
Well, a big one indeed. We're looking forward to seeing what he's able to do. I'm taking a look right now. I'm just looking at his statistics in terms of his win percentage statistics. In Benfica, like I said, he was there from September, the 20th of September. Funnily enough, it's tomorrow. Tomorrow is the 20th of September. So 20th of September 2000 to the 5th of December 2000. And he played 11 games, or he managed 11 games, won 6, drew 3 and lost 2, just like I said, with 17 goals scored, 9 conceded. And the win percentage was 54.55. He only had, I think that was his second, was it? Yeah. No, his fourth worst win percentage, because the only win percentages that he had that were inferior to that win percentage was his second club, that's União de Leiria, his second club, with a 52.17% win percentage. And then we had, was this? Yes, no surprises there, Tottenham Hotspur with a 51.16% win percentage. And then the club after that, Roma, funnily enough, Roma, that was his worst win percentage there, with a 49.2928 percentage after managing 138 games, winning 68, drawing 31 and losing 39, I beg your pardon. So this is a Mourinho that is a journeyman. He's gone around, he's been there, done that. He's been to how many countries right now? How many leagues? Of course, it's native Portuguese league with Benfica, FC Porto, particularly the main big dog. Sorry, Unai Delera. You're not a big club. I'm sorry about that. But then he went to England with Chelsea. Later with Manchester United, with Tottenham Hotspur. Went to Italy with Inter Milan, where he had his most successful spell because he won a continental treble with Inter, with Nerazzurri. Yes. Then, of course, he went to Roma, won the Conference League with Roma, AS Roma. Then went to the Turkish Superliga. He didn't win anything with Fenerbahce. Yes. And that's the side where he wasn't very, very happy. Went to Spanish La Liga, won stuff with Real Madrid also there. So, Mourinho can be termed as one of the most successful managers in world football, but the question I want to ask right now, do you think it was a good idea for him to return to Benfica? Doesn't he have a lot more to offer, or is he homesick, or what could be the reason for him going back to his native Portugal?
When you see managers up to go to a club after being out of the job for either a while or for a short period of time, there are three factors that normally come into mind. From the personal perspective, the family perspective, and for what you see as a viable future for yourself. He could have gone to so many other clubs that needed managers as well. He could have gone to maybe a struggling side in the Italian Serie A. He could have gone to a struggling side in even the Premier League or even the Bundesliga. But I think he opted to come back home, maybe for family reasons and all that. At the same time, why not go back to where it all began? Remind myself of where this journey began, this beautiful journey of 25 years, how we've journeyed ourselves down the lane. I've won so many titles with so many clubs. I've done this, I've done that. Why not go back to where it began? Just breathe that fresh breath again. Say, okay, I'm back to where it all began. Let me reassess. Look at some things I did well before. Look at some things I didn't do well. Try and implement it in this new spell with Benfica.
Okay. Whenever I see Mourinho, I think of there's this song that we used to sing. This nursery rhyme. Or nursery rhymes and the Jolly Wanderer. Yes, I love to go wandering along the mountain paths.
Mourinho has wandered.
He wanderlust is a problem that he has. I think he wanders around. He should calm down.
It's due to that wandering that he has earned the right to be called the special one. So,
okay, you say he has earned the right. Okay, we'll do this before we go to the last story for the day. The Portuguese League, the standings of the Portuguese League, I'll just read it. I don't know if it's there, but let me just read it. They have, after 5 games played, the Portuguese League for Liga Portugal in 2025-2026 season. You have FC Porto, who are sitting on top of the log. They are the only unbeaten. In fact, the team that have the best record right now. 5 games played, 5-1. No draw, no defeat, with 15 points. And Sporting, the defending champions, are behind them with 12 points. They've lost a game. Obviously, they lost the game. The Morense are third with after 5 games with 12 points also. Then Benfica are currently fourth. Here they have a game in hand, which means if Benfica win their game in hand, then they will climb to second.
Yes.
With 13 points because they have 10 points as we speak. Mourinho already knows the task ahead, and the task ahead is to restore Benfica to their former glory. And it starts, charity begins at home. Mm-hmm. So winning the Portuguese League. I know you've answered the question in a way, but I'm going to go straight up, outright. What are the chances of Jose Mourinho leading Benfica to their first league title in a while, breaking the stranglehold of Sporting Lisbon and then also FC Porto?
The chances are very high actually, though. If Mourinho is able to draw a steady lineup of consistent players and players that are fit, players without long-lasting injuries and all that, and he can get these players to gel and get themselves in form with the tactics that he's going to be putting out throughout the course of the season. They will be able to go toe-to-toe with Porto and Lisbon, Sporting Lisbon for the league. The only problem they might face here, I'm not discredit to Porto. Porto have been in the shout for a while. But I do see their greatest threat being Sporting Lisbon, and they can still do their own part by winning the 2 games they have to play against Sporting Lisbon. So you do that and keep yourself winning other matches, you can get yourself on top of the league.
Okay. All right, so we're going to end the show with, first of all, okay, congratulations to Jose Mourinho on this, his latest job. I didn't say his job because before you know what's happening, he might be out of that job again. I don't know. But,
Only time will tell.
Only time will tell. With Mourinho, only time will tell. Okay, so we'll end the show with this piece of good news concerning the World Championship Athletic event that's going on in Tokyo right now. The Championship Athletic event is going to end in 2 days' time. That is on Sunday. And a Nigerian athlete, a 400-meter hurdles specialist, the man called Ezekiel, Nathaniel, has written down his name in history as being the first Nigerian athlete to get to the 400 meters hurdles final in 38 years. He's done that. Of course, he did that on Wednesday, where he ran in heat 2 to victory in heat 2 in 47.47 seconds, which was the fastest qualifying time of the round. So he qualified for the final. Now, take note that the last Nigerian to reach the stage, that is the finals of this tournament, that's the 400 meters hurdles, was Henry Amike. That was in 1987 in Rome, Italy, where he ran a time of 48.63 seconds. So this man, Nathaniel Ezekiel, we're looking at, he holds the national record, and we hope that he gives Nigeria the ability to finish strong in this tournament. That is in the 400 meters hurdles tournament, because he's the last man standing. As at the last time we checked, we need to verify, he's the last man standing off the back of what happened. The 200 meters sprinter that I was talking about, Udodi Onzurike, he missed out narrowly. We'll talk about that tomorrow. He missed out narrowly on a place in the final of the 200 meters race. They finished 7th with a time of 22.26 seconds. But a big congratulations to this young man, Ezekiel Nathaniel. 38 years is a long time, very long time.
38 years is more than a long time. It's like some will say a boogie, because to have not been reaching the finals in 38 years is something. But congratulations to him for breaking that course per se. And the man there is up for greater things. I mean, he could even set world records if he's exceptionally well in the finals. So big ups to Nathaniel. We love to see this from the Nigerian perspective. We wish for more athletes to reach this type of heights. And let's go on the way to the finals and cheer him on, see whether he can cross the finish line and probably set new records.
Well, let's hope that happens, because we still have a bitter taste in our mouth as far as athletics is concerned. You remember the story recently where Favor Philly, the 200 meters, the sprinter, 200 meters specialist and 100 meters specialist, who is also the world record holder in 150 meters, because of maladministration and negligence of the highest order, has switched her allegiance to Turkey. So now Nigeria has lost one of the best athletes to Turkey. We saw recently the rants of Toby Amuson concerning the kits, or the inadequate kits that were given by the AFN, the Athletic Federation of Nigeria, to the athletes. Was just not adequate enough, up to par with their contemporaries from other countries. So
I mean, the board has to sit down and review these things. They have to find a way to protect the athletes that we have, not just in football, but across all sports. You need to find a way to make sure that they get all the equipment they deserve, get the facilities they need for their trainings, keep them healthy, keep them fit, keep them strong. I mean, you just have to try and protect these players. That's just the basic point of everything. You have to try and keep them as well. You don't allow any slip-ups that they move on to other countries, like the Favor case. We don't want to have a repeat of that ever again. So you just have to do what you need to protect the rights of these players, protect their images, protect their integrities out there internationally, and provide them with adequate equipment. That's just the truth.
Okay, I'll still ask the question, because you sort of almost negated the need to ask the question, but I'll still ask it anyway. I need to know whether that's enough, because you talk about providing the equipment. Yes, like I always say, Rome wasn't built in a day. Yes. It was built daily. So providing the equipment is not as easy as it sounds. See the angle I'm coming from. I'll always quote my late mentor in broadcasting, Mr. Jikato. He would always say it this way, that the agility of a monkey is determined by the availability of the branches. So you talk about infrastructure, you talk about games villages, you talk about the right kind of equipment, you talk about diversity of equipment. I said it jokingly before, but it's no longer a joke. The fact that I have never in my entire life in Nigeria, anyway, seen a pole vaulter perform in Nigeria. From where to where? How will it happen? Because the amenities are not there. So what I'm saying in essence is this. Given the fact that most of our outstanding athletes in Nigeria, at least the ones that have not decamped and moved on to pastures new,
Yes.
train abroad. Toby Amuson lives in the United States of America. She trains there. Favor of Philip, before leaving, basically the same thing. She wasn't based in Nigeria. You look at the other athletes that are there doing their stuff. Many of them come there. The boy, the young man we talk about, Udodi, who owns Zurike, he was born in the United States of America, I think in Michigan, and then he trained there. He's been doing that. He just loves to run for his country and he represents Nigeria. But it's about time. When do you think it's going to be time to declare a state of emergency on the sporting sector to ensure that the facilities, the infrastructure, the equipment, necessary equipment is put in place for maximal output in athletics?
I mean, when it comes to athletics and sports in general, I mean, the panic button has to be hit right now. The government has to work with the various bodies in charge of various sporting infrastructures. They have to find a way to work with the government. They have to find a way of making these facilities and these infrastructures that they will need for the proper adequate trainings for these athletes to be put in place. I mean, like you said, there is no proper games village. We don't even have a pole vaulter here in Nigeria, at least a professional one at most. You have to put all these things in place. It's not just to put the blame on the individual bodies of different sports. The government too has its own blame to come. You have to be able to question the government why they haven't worked with these bodies to ensure that proper games village, like you brought up, sporting facilities are put in places. It's not about maybe trying to go out there, trying to maybe get the rights to host Olympics and all. You have to put all these things in place. You have to get the bodies up and running. That when you've put the facilities in place, it's now on you to now charge the bodies. Okay, I've put the facilities. What are you using these facilities to do? When the facilities are not there, you can't really blame the bodies of various sporting branches in Nigeria that they are failing to do their jobs when the facilities are not there. So the government has to work hand in hand with these branches of the sports, get them what they need, get them what they require for the future purposes, and everybody can get what they need, and we don't have to lose players to other nations.
Okay, so the government, everybody that's involved, the stakeholders, everybody, the policymakers, everyone that's involved in athletics in particular and sports in general, I think you've heard it, a word is not for the wise. We need to do the right thing and ensure that our athletes are well taken care of. Our athletes have the right kind of equipment and an enabling environment to become the best that they can be, because I'm always of the opinion that Nigeria has the best athletes on earth. Take that to the bank. Thank you very much for being with us on the Afia Sports preview show on Afia TV. We're going to do this again tomorrow, but this time around we're going to be on air by 11:30 a.m. 10:30 a.m. Sorry, 10:30 a.m. We're going to be there by 10:30 a.m. on Afia TV as usual. No, the channel frequencies still remain the same. Channel 748 Free TV, 254 DSTV, 17 Go TV. We're going to be on the Afia Sport Home of Sports on Afia TV, and we'll give you a rundown, a comprehensive rundown on the happenings for this weekend. So you don't want to miss that. Keep it locked on Afia TV. Until we meet again, of course, tomorrow will be a simulcast, so you can also make your calls, call in, and then you'll be listening to us on Afia Radio, 99.3 Afia Radio. That's what it's going to be. Thank you very much for being with us, and have a blessed weekend. Emeka Maduka, we thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. And this is coming from me too, on behalf of the guys, the production crew, our floor managers that are here, and of course the MCR and PCR. Thank you very much for being wonderful and doing what you do without stress. And this is CC the Rabbi. Have a blessed week ahead. Ciao.